The greeting card of any business is their sign. 50% of your patronage is coming in just from their sign. Gordon Sign is the oldest sign company in Colorado. We're 111 years old. We've done things for Denver Performing Arts Complex, for the major stadiums in town, Coors Field, Pepsi Center. The Broncos project was enjoyed by our team. The emblems and the Broncos heads and the lettering was just in perfect shape. He cared so much that that thing went off perfectly.
The Signs of the Times, once a year, has an annual sign design competition, and this year the Lucky Pie sign won first place in the electric building sign category. It's to promote the pizzeria, obviously, but it's also kind of a unique work of art.
I initially heard about Spike from my boss, Joe Provost. I do a lot of my own surveys.
It was very simple for us, and it seemed like a very good product to solve our problems. And site conditions and surveys are a big problem in our industry. And so if I can get the measurements and obtain information on our first visit, it helps us get back to our customer quickly.
Before I had Spike for surveys, I'd always have to bring a ladder with me to get measurements that I couldn't reach. Walking a tape measure up the fascia is always a pain, and Spike gets rid of, all of that. Since I've been using Spike, it's cut my survey times in half. It's literally you take a photo and you have every dimension you need. I used Spike on a job recently called X-Ledger. I used it to measure a fascia that was approximately 50 feet up in the air, which no way I could have surveyed myself, so Spike came in handy. And then I can take Spike and show them the size of sign they're allowed by measuring the frontage with Spike and showing them how big of a sign they can have on the fascia. Then I go home, I design the sign where I can take all the measurements from the Spike file and get an accurate impose to show to the customer. I use Spike for all types of surveys. It's just kind of my go-to tool. I love it, so I don't even pull out my tape measure anymore. I would recommend Spike for other sign companies for sure.